Hi, I'm Richie Mackay.
And I'm David Bolt, and you are listening to the Wrong Bias podcast.
And on the show today, we are joined by Katie Bulmer Cooke, formerly of the Apprentice and now the fitness goddess. Katie's back to give us an update on the latest progress in Bowlsfit. We are also joined by Sian Honnor to discuss Bowls International, her Commonwealth Games bid, and a bit of Bowlsfit as well. Hang on to your false teeth, it's back. After a year away, Richies Round Up returns. There's another update on our future competition plans, plus a bit of general chit-chat. Right, mate, here we are again, show number 35. These shows are coming like a bus service, and maybe you expect 1 and 3 turn up.
I know.
Nearly our third one in a month, I think, isn't it?
Pretty much. We're getting regular.
Oh, dear me. Right, anyway.
Like a Modium.
Exactly.
A Modium stops you, doesn't it?
No, a Modium gets you. Oh, it does stop your eyes. Stick it on your tongue. Yeah. Anyway.
Laxatives. That's what I should have said.
Laxative. Anyway, it seems that everybody that appears on this podcast, mate, seems to win something. I mean, there's Mr. Tolshard. He's only just knocked off the 2-ball title.
Yeah, he just wins everything now, doesn't he? He's a right big head.
He's just too good. Mark Dawes won the family pairs.
All right.
And I won a lucky dip on the lottery. Come on.
Did you? Aye. And I won runners up.
Yeah, you won runners up. Anyway, what happened in the Liberty final?
Yeah, Tottenham runners up. Yeah, we overall probably beaten by the better team, mate. I would say though, it was up and down the final. They went ahead early, and then we got back, and we got on top, and then they went back ahead, and we got back on top again. And personally, on our rink, we had a slow start, but then got back into the game, and as we were picking up counts, our other teams were dropping counts, so nothing really changed on the board. But just one of those, mate. The Devons, you've only got to look at the Devon skips for starters. You've got a battle on. I don't think they had their full strength team out. We had 2 or 3 missing who could have potentially been in there. But good final, 6 shots in the end. Wasn't as close as sort of it sounds, because the last end I think we needed a 7 or something to get a draw and got a 1. No, congratulations to the Devon lads. I had me regular hug with Mr. Tolchard, which obviously it's better than winning any national. That now it's like me highlight of my year now when I get a hug off him, man. It's just like hugging a statue. That's what it is. I'm sick to death of him winning stuff. Now, honestly, he's like, I messaged him the other day when he won the 2-ball, and I says, "Well done, mate. Just you like a train." And he's got, I wasn't very good. I was struggling. I was like, "Hey, man, give it a rest, man, will you?"
So modest and laid back.
Oh, he's modest and laid back. He's a pain in the backside. That's what he is. This keeps winning for fun. He'll bankrupt Bowls soon. I'll tell you the amount of money he must have won the last few weeks.
He needs the money to make up for the work he's lost in his electrical business.
You're right. But no, congratulations to Devon. Great bunch of lads. And well-deserved victory on the day. And for us, maybe a little kick up the backside just to have a look at a few things in the future, maybe introduce a few players that maybe should have been in the team or on the fringes. And yeah, we'll see what happens in 6 months' time. We'll be back there again, hopefully.
It's quite funny because they've won it, and then probably about 3 or 4 or 5 weeks' time, they've got to start the defence.
They have, it's a quick old turnaround, but I suppose better to have won it and have it in your hand and worry about that later, I suppose.
Yeah, better than not, yeah.
We certainly wouldn't have complained, I've no doubt.
During the outdoor season, when the Bowls England national finals were taking place, there was a lot of chit-chat about it clashing with the EBF outdoor season. Now, I've noticed that the AIBA's championships is currently undergoing at Nottingham, and lo and behold, the ABF starting now, but there's not the same chit-chat.
Maybe it's it's a forced thing, isn't it? I don't think it's clashed in the past, does it? The indoors, EBF and the IBA. I don't think there's been a clash there in the past. So I think maybe forced because of COVID. There was a lot of stuff to catch up on and a very, very limited time to be able to get it in at the start of the season. So the argument's been outdoors that it's been ongoing now for a lot of years, hasn't it? There's been an overlap there for a lot of years.
And there was another thing that I noticed as well. The under 25 international trial is now under 26 international trial. Do you think that's just a one-off, mate? Or is it, there was talk to go to under 31, wasn't that?
But there's been talk about under 31s for a while. And I mean, I didn't know about this under 26s. I'd be completely wrong what I'm going to say, but I'm only thinking that is it to give those guys who have missed out on under 25s because of COVID that extra year so that they don't miss out? Because I think I said it a couple of podcasts again, didn't I? You know, I felt for a lot of the under 25 guys who were maybe 23, 24, coming to the end of that under 25 career where you want to make that step up to the senior level if possible, and they've missed out on that opportunity. So it could be that, Richie. I don't know. Like I say, I didn't know about that personally, but that would be my thoughts. It's just giving them an extra year to be able to compete.
And now we catch up again with Katie Bulmer Cooke.
Right then, so we welcome back to the show, Katie Bulmer Cooke. Welcome back, Katie. This is your reappearance, your second appearance. You do realise we're that big now, you'll start getting paparazzi at your door. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for asking us back. I can't have been that horrendous the first time.
No, definitely not, definitely not. Richie, come on, you start. How long is it since we were talking about Bowlsfit? When did we do the last podcast?
April the 2nd.
Do you want to just give us a sort of a bit of an update, really, as to what you've been doing over the last few months? We're very, very close to launching now, getting it to that point where we can go live.
I feel like it's at a point now where it's like it's a real thing. It's gone from being a concept. So the last time we spoke about it, it was more than a concept. It started to gather some momentum, but it actually now is a real thing that people can take part in, both in person, and they have taken part in it in person, and online. So just today, we did the second Bowlsfit Masterclass. We wanted to do one with a smaller group and one with a larger group. Today was the larger group. The beginning of the week was the smaller group at Horton. Big thank you to everyone active who very kindly supplied the venues. And the whole idea behind these masterclasses was to get people involved, get people doing Bowlsfit, but the twist without them knowing they were doing Bowlsfit. So purposely didn't tell them the name of the class or give them any sort of background information. Gave them a brief overview of what to expect, but certainly didn't give away the link to Bowlsfit. And yeah, the feedback's been good. For me, the biggest box I wanted to tick personally was that whether you played bowls or you didn't, you could still enjoy the class. And I think having way back when we first were talking about this, we did a taster class, which was predominantly with people who played bowls, and they enjoyed it. And now we've done it with people who don't play bowls, and they've enjoyed it. I feel like we've ticked all the boxes. Yeah,
definitely. And I popped in today. Obviously, we did a survey, and the reason we did the blind class, as I called it, where nobody knew about Bowlsfit or what it was called or what it incorporated, etc., was because we really wanted that raw feedback on the surveys based on the exercises and the class that they actually did, rather than coming in there with a preconceived idea of what it's going to be about, which in fairness, the first time round, which I know we mentioned last time, about 4 years ago, which has just flown by with this COVID in between, the first time round, a lot of people did know. So we did walk in there with a bit of a thought of, my word, what's this going to be involving bowls and fitness? And it was a great surprise for us as to how well received it was. And then today it was lovely talking after the class. I just caught up with somebody who'd taken part in it, and her feedback was she does boxercise on a regular basis. And she says, I'm sweating as much now after that class as what I do in boxercise. And she says, for all boxercise sort of works the top part of your body. She says, this is great for me because she says it's working areas that I don't normally work, which is my core and my legs. Yeah, it was nice to get that sort of feedback straight from direct from the mouth, so to speak. But then looking at all the surveys, we asked for a mark of 1 to 5 on how people saw the class and felt after the class. And I would say 96% of those responses we've had have been 5s, and some really, really positive comments, especially about yourself, Katie. I'm going to big you up here. A lot of people saying what a fantastic way you deal with those attending the classes and how you run your classes. They really enjoy what you do. So one thing that surprised me after the first one, that class was the first time since the last time.
It was. That's right, because when we did that first initial class, I was actually pregnant with Bobby and nobody knew. And then, of course, and then I went on to be not very well during my pregnancy, bed bound for 20 weeks, then COVID, and like you say, where does the time go? But it was lovely, especially, I mean, I really loved the class in Horton on Monday. It was full of lovely people. But today, like a bigger class, it was just a lovely feeling to be back doing it again. And I was a little bit nervous because it's been such a long time. It was like, what's the expression, getting back on a horse, riding a bike, whatever it is. I think when you've done something for that long, like I've done this since I was 16, I'm 35 now. It happens, it just comes back to you. But it was a great feeling. And it was really nice to read people's feedback. I keep calling it like a thing now, like it is a live product. So we have got the training manual completed, so other instructors can come and they can train to be a Bowlsfit instructor. I've filmed online workouts so that no matter where you live, you could take part in a Bowlsfit class online. We've even gone down the route of like adapting the class and done chair-based Bowlsfit, a chair-based Bowlsfit program, which my mum's worked on because that's an area of specialism for her. So it really has all come together. Like the branding looks awesome. Like tonight we'll get the promo video from the day. It's really, I would say in the last 6 months, it's just gone like pretty rapid from concept stage. And yeah, wouldn't it be good if we could do this, that and the other till we've actually done it and it's here and it's ready.
And the team we've got together who's actually, been responsible for putting that together. It's been, touch wood, quite harmonious as well, hasn't it? We've worked really, really well. There's things that needed to be done and they've been done. There's things that's currently being worked on where we've got a website that's going to be implemented, which is going to, store various different things, including the videos and God forbid my home blog video, which I'm going to be doing over the next 6 months or so.
Car crash.
Richie can't wait for this one.
Car crash television.
Yeah, so hopefully the whole plan is that the sea is going from my big daddy self at the moment, and then 6 months time I'm looking like Cristiano Ronaldo at the end of it.
Earlier this week I did you an injustice. We were talking about how much weight you lost following the Bowlsfit program, which is where the whole idea came from, before you went to the Commonwealth Games. And I said, I thought it was about just over 2 stone. It was flipping 4 stone. I've got to hold my hands up and apologise for that memory, like you say.
Can't remember whether I mentioned this on the last Bowlsfit video, podcast, sorry, not the video. Bowlsfit was just part of what I did to get that 4 stone off. It's not a miracle thing where weight's going to drop off. I did a lot of just simple inclined walking on the treadmill as well. I did a little bit of bike work. I did a little bit on the mats where I was doing, some planks and things like that. But for me, Bowlsfit just covered everything else. It covered everything that was part of the sport. And one thing I really need to stress is that this is not designed to bring people into the sport, so to speak. I think in a secondary way, it's got a really, really strong possibility of doing that. But this class is designed predominantly around the muscle groups that are used in the game of bowls. As I was writing something, I think I put it on a post on the Wrong Bias page earlier on. For me, it is just a slightly more advanced way of looking at how many of the older generation actually are able to play this sport. Because if you can imagine, they've been doing this for 25, 30 years and working their core muscles and their legs and the mental stimulation, etc. Then this is why I sort of say now we should be singing the praises of the fact that this sport can be played by the older generation. It's not a bad thing. It's, people have got that perception, but it can be played by everybody. And I think you've done a perfect job, Katie, of really incorporating the class mirroring the sport, which can be done by all and is quite a social activity, but then will enhance your fitness and activity levels going forward as well.
And I suppose to add to that as well, there'll be some people that will come along to the class because they enjoy the class concept and might not have played the sport before, but because there are some social aspects to the class, like the partner work, and because it's not a class that's all about that sort of go hard or go home message, it does give people an opportunity to interact with each other. And you never know, by interacting with somebody else there who maybe does play the sport, people might filter through from the class into the sport as well, and vice versa. So I just think it's great to see, like we've seen it in these masterclasses the last 2 weeks, people of all ages, abilities, fitness levels can get involved. And that's quite a rarity in group fitness now, because the way a lot of classes are designed, they are either designed as beginners, low level, low impact classes, or they're at the other end of the scale, and it's like pick one and that's where you go. But there are few classes on timetables now that really are multi-level classes. A variety of people can get involved. And I was chatting with somebody after the class today, like someone who came, and she was saying, you know, Katie, I love going to group fitness classes, but I worry about my knees. She was like, I'm 50 next year. I worry about my knees. I worry about my hips. I don't want to do crazy jumping about stuff all the time, but I am fit and I want the workout. So I want to do high intensity, but low impact. There's a lot of people think that that's not achievable, and that the only way to reach the intensity is by increasing the impact and jumping around more. But that's not the case. Like in the class I did this morning, we did things like adding extra resistance with the band. So that makes it harder straight away. Doing things more quickly can make things harder. And bringing in arms to leg exercises can elevate the heart rate as well. So there's just so many different ways, and there really is something for everybody in the class.
Definitely, yeah. And it's, I sort of, you know, I know you've been, you're sort of involved in a few sports as well now, Katie. Obviously, I've seen that you're doing the boxing exercise and you're doing the football exercise. And it fits perfectly into that bracket where, because you're doing a boxing exercise, nobody's going to expect you to jump in a ring with Mike Tyson anytime soon and start boxing them. And you're not going to be playing at Wembley in the next, 2 years because you're doing football. It's just incorporating the exercise that is required to be able to participate in that sport. And I think, most sports have got it. So why not bowls? And that's why I sort of wanted to reiterate the fact that it's not something that is to promote the sport, even though it will, without a shadow of a doubt, but it's not there as a mechanism to try and recruit people into the sport. It is there just to really reflect what exercises you can do. And it's great. It's looking fantastic. I'm really excited, really excited by it. I'm looking forward to getting started myself. I've roped the wife in as well, so I might as well put her through the ringer. But, from my personal experience prior to Commonwealth Games, without a shadow of a doubt, did that improve my performance on the green by an absolute country mile. I was playing as good a bowls then when I was fit as I've ever played, purely me just being completely lazy to have got back to the way I am now. And to be honest with you, I think it's been a detriment in a lot of respects to my game as well. So I'm really looking forward, hopefully in 6 months' time, to seeing, whether it does make that improvement that I expect as well. But no, it's been, like I say, I know you've been in the studio as well, recording the videos, which look great. I've seen them myself.
Yeah, well, that's what you're going to be following at home, isn't it?
It is, and that is going to be accessible for everybody. So, they are going to be there, and you can simply do it with a tennis ball and a tension band in your house and go through the program, and it's as simple as that. It's not expensive. Those who've done it, Richie, I don't know whether I told you, but the Houghton event, I stuck a little Bowls Mole in there, little being the operative word, our little Devison.
All right, Jack.
I sent him along purely because he'd just done the Great North Run in 1 hour and 20 minutes. I think I'll spend more time on the toilet, to be fair, and he's done 13.5 miles.
Was he on the car, though?
I think he must have been. I think he's jumped on a bus or something. Like, I wanted to get him there, being a competitor in bowls and also being a very, very fit lad, to see what his response was. And he came out of there and he was really, really positive. His feedback was great. And he just said it made him realise how strong he is on one side compared to the other. And he realised that he's got a lot of weakness on his left leg compared to his right leg. So, that was really great feedback as well.
So was Jack the equivalent of Katie's mystery shopper we've sent in?
Yeah, he was the Bowls Mole.
The Bowls Mole.
That's what we called him.
What's really interesting about that setup on Monday is that you had someone like Jack, who, there are very few people that are going to run the Great North Run in that time, and he plays the sport as well. He's obviously a really fit lad. You had there was the lady there who hadn't done any exercise for years. That was her first class she'd done in years. Both of them came out of the class beaming. Neither of them felt held back or left behind, and that could both do it together. A bowler, a non-bowler, a beginner, an advanced participant. So without tooting my own horn too much, it's testament to like the fact that the class format is good.
And it is brilliant. You got similar feedback today at this class. I saw on one of the feedback forms a young girl who she wasn't comfortable in a group environment doing exercise. And the fact that we had the video in there as well sort of just magnified that for her. But she said she loved it, and she loved working with a partner with some of the, the exercise that you were doing. And, I just think feedback like that's invaluable, because it just does show it's not all about getting in there and getting super fit. It's about everything else that I can bring along the way as well. So great stuff on that side. Where are we going next?
In part 2 of our chat with Katie, one of us has a confession to make. I wonder who that'll be.
Right then, competition time. So thanks as always to our sponsors, Bowls' Bowls, XX20 and Link to Succeed. Now we're having a bit of thought about this competition malarkey, because I'm not calling anybody cheaters out there, but we do notice that as soon as one person puts the answer to the question on there, then everybody seems to probably copy and everybody seems to get the same. So we've been racking our brains and we're going to combine our little bit of streaming technology. So for the next competition, just keep your eyes open on the page, because what we're going to do is a little scoring competition via video. So we're going to do a range of different videos using the bowls wedge, and I'm going to roll 4 balls towards the wedge, and you're going to have to guess what my score is. And those who get the right answer will go into the draw for the competition for the £20 voucher from XX20. So that is going to happen in the very near future. Keep your eyes open on the page, and as soon as you see it, please get your answers in, and you've got the chance to win that £20 voucher.
Now we are joined by Sian Honnor.
So, got Sian Honnor back on the show. Over the moon to have you back on, Sian. We're going to have a little bit of a catch-up on a bit of bowls conversation and a little bit of shock news that I'm sure will surprise a lot of people concerning yourself recently as well. How's things? How's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks both for having me.
Just before we go to that news you announced recently, how's things been after COVID, Sian? I'm sure it was a pretty tough time during, especially for the magazine as well, during a very, very quiet 18 months.
Yeah, it was. I think all sports, everyone and everything was hit very hard by the pandemic, and really difficult 18 months for a lot of sports and community groups and charities. Really tough time. But from a personal point of view, we moved the magazine online, did a digital only issue for sort of 17 months, and we felt that was the best way to go in order to protect the magazine. Some people I know didn't understand the rationale behind it, but quite simply, no bowls, advertising dwindled to next to nothing. It just wasn't viable to put a printed product out. But absolutely delighted to print again, and the feedback has been really good. And those people that cancelled their subscriptions, there's been a lot of people, take it up again, which is great to see. And I think everybody was just desperate to get back on the bowl screen. I mean, in terms of the magazine, the content that we had, even though there was sort of very limited bowls going on, was excellent because there was still things happening. There were decisions being made behind the scenes. Quite a few individuals in the bowls world were also doing some amazing things throughout the pandemic as well, giving back to the community, and it didn't struggle at all. I thought the magazines were really strong, which was great. But yeah, just nice to be able to go and play bowls again, to meet up with people, socialise, and to have that competitive element as well. So yeah, delighted that clubs have worked really hard and been able to get things going again in a safe way, and a way that people feel comfortable to go and play, which is great.
Said in the past, Sian, that I really feel that the second lockdown was a saviour is a bit too strong of a word, but a major plus in a strange kind of way for the sport, because I really feel that after the first lockdown, when we were having that really, really nice weather, loads of people were out and about and doing different things and had found new activities to do, and they were going on walks, etc. Do you think if we'd come back after that first lockdown, we would have had the return that we've had now?
No, probably not. I think it's a novelty as well, isn't it? I mean, I can honestly say that I found it quite refreshing after all the years playing bowls. Not that there was a lot going on, but just not having to think I've got to play bowls, or I'm bowling sort of this night. If someone said to me, I mean, let's be honest, it was only like going for a walk, but I could just do it without even thinking about it. But actually, come the second lockdown, I was sort of itching to get back to do something. I think a lot of people were the same.
I think dark nights and the winter time was a big eye-opener for a lot of people, because they weren't able to get out on those walks, and the days just seemed to drag, with it being the the cold, dark nights. And I think, I thought that a lot of people have probably sat there and started to think, I really miss playing bowls again. And I agree with you. I was, I'd be a liar if I said I particularly thought about going out and playing bowls again during a lot of that period. But
no, but I bet you miss certain elements. And I think for everybody, it's an outlet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why, for whatever reason it is that individuals play bowls, sooner rather than later, you're going to miss that.
Yeah.
Probably not many people miss the actual game of bowls, but it's everything that it brings and represents.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. And that for me has been the big thing. It's been lovely, especially from a local point of view. There's been a really high turnout of people back outdoors again. We've got the leagues going again, which was nice to see other clubs. And then indoors, still going to have concerns about COVID, etc. And, I don't know what it's like down in your area, Sian, but certainly in South Shields at our home club, there's a load of people returned and we're getting new members off the back of it as well.
Yeah, I think people want to get back to normality as much as they can. There obviously are going to still be people that have reservations and don't quite feel as comfortable, but I think that generally people feel that COVID isn't going anywhere. And in the best way that you can, you've got to kind of get on with it, albeit in a safe way.
Yeah, definitely. Have you had any instances at all of anybody refusing to go on the green because of, the vaccinations and things like that? Have you heard anything like that?
I haven't personally. I've heard kind of bits and pieces. I mean, I don't know how accurate they would be, but I think it's down to personal preference. I mean, we started off trying to play with 2 mats and 2 jacks, which is far too much for me to get my head around. So I just tried to let them crack on. But actually, most people, we might have done 2 ends of it and we kind of all looked at each other and were sort of like, shall we just mug this off? And I think, as long as there was a hand sanitizer at the end, but everybody's different with things like that, and you have to respect people's views, even if they're not what your own would be. But I think, we're all accountable, and as long as we try and be as careful as possible, it obviously helps massively now that people are being vaccinated as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I just get confused at the minute with people, you're either shaking hands, fist pumping, elbowing, headbutting, or anything. I haven't got a clue what people... You hold your hand out to shake your hand, and they're giving you a fist pump, and you're going, what's going on here? You're grabbing the fist.
Yeah, you can't contradict yourself by insisting on having a different jack and then high-fiving and hugging someone and get shot.
I'm definitely back to hugging. Like,
you love a hug, Bolty.
I love a hug.
Did you see the picture? the peck on the neck.
I give him a big hug again yesterday after he beat us in the Liberty final. Sick to death of him now. Yeah. I'm exactly what you're saying there, Sian. I think I'm past the double mats and the double jacks. It's like if you're going to pick it up, you could pick it up anywhere, and it's just using common sense, isn't it? And just trying to be, as sanitized and as clean as you possibly can, washing your hands, etc. I barely think about it now. I just get on with my day. I'm used to being in a routine of putting some sanitizer on and just get on with it. It's like flu, isn't it? You can barely avoid it really if it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think we've had it in our household a couple of times. So yeah, I know it's definitely not gone away, but yeah, it's obviously, trying to keep yourself as safe and healthy as possible, isn't it? As you would do generally, but just taking those extra precautions as and when.
So moving on from that, Sian, obviously you announced something, was it last week or the week before, with regards to Bowls International, which I'm sure those who weren't aware, there was a lot of shock. You've been involved for so many years and, been integral to Bowls International. Do you want to just expand on obviously what you announced and what the plans are for the future?
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, well, it was longer, but I thought I should say something really. It's one of those awkward things, I am basically moving on from my role as editor of the magazine. Been there 7 years, and I obviously made the difficult decision, but then kind of thought, I better say something rather than just disappear.
Yeah.
But you don't want to. I don't like drawing attention to myself anyway. So I'm not great with things like that. But I'm going on to be working for a children and young people's cancer charity, which I'm in the communications team, which I'm really excited about. Obviously quite different, new challenge for me. But after 7 years, as I say, just felt it was time to move on. really.
Fantastic. And it does sound amazing. It's obviously an amazing charity, and, you know, more than sure that it's something you thought long and hard about, having been involved with Bowls International for a long time. And obviously from our point of view, just like to thank you for the last 7 years for the work that you've done in Bowls International, because, you know, the reports and the stories and everything that goes out there just keeps this sport ticking along. And like you said, even during COVID, kept people in touch with the sport, with things that were happening, not just in this country, but around the world as well. And it just kept Bowls in the sort of the spotlight as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've absolutely loved my time. It's been a blast, to be honest, and it was a tough decision, but I leave it in safe hands, and I know that it will continue to flourish. We've got a very sort of loyal base of readers, and we're gaining subscribers across all demographics all the time, which is really positive. And yeah, I'm sure there are some exciting plans in the pipeline for who takes it on from me. So yeah, watch this space. But it's been a great job. I never ever thought that I'd work in bowls. You were probably the same, but here I am. But yeah, it's definitely time for me to hand over now and get my teeth stuck into something else.
So is that you handing the brand over completely, Sian?
Yeah.
My copy of Bowls International landed on my carpet. Like you said earlier on, it's great to get a hard copy out there. I think you've done, even during the when COVID was at its height and there was no bowls going on, just to get a digital magazine out, I thought you were absolutely tremendous. Because I'd do a column in the local Echo and on a Saturday, and I was digging up old reports from years ago just to try to keep something in the paper so we didn't lose the space in the paper. So I think for you to keep a hold of your readers that you have done is fair play to you. Tremendous stuff.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say thank you to all those people that, you know, it's obviously very easy, isn't it, to just be like, yeah, I cancelled that subscription. It's not quite what we want. The digital, there's no buzz going on. What's the point?
Yeah.
But actually that happened everywhere. Started with the Bowls Club. We still joined the Bowls Club, even though we knew we weren't going to be playing, because if everyone didn't join the Bowls Club, what happens? That's the thing. It's very easy to just be like, well, I'm not getting my money's worth. But actually a massive thank you to the people that stuck with us, and equally welcome back to those who have come back. It's great to have you back. Yeah, I hope that in that magazine there's something for absolutely everyone, age-wise, ability-wise. I mean, I'm really proud of the product that we put out. Yeah, as I say, I know it will continue to do well. So if you don't subscribe, why not?
There'll be more from Sian later in the show. After 12 months in isolation, the moment has arrived for those immortal words. Cue the music. Welcome to Richies Round Up. British Isles news. The 2022 Indoor Championships will take place at Belfast. The Women's International Series will take place on the 11th to 13th of March. The Men's International Series take place on the 17th to the 19th of March, while the British Isles Championships is sandwiched in the middle on the 14th to the 16th. Sadly, there would be no indoor over 50s international series. After 22 years of sponsoring the event, Warner Leisure Hotel have ended their sponsorship. It is hoped to reintroduce the event once the full financial impact of COVID is known. News from the Valleys. The remaining 2019-20 indoor national titles will be decided this month, and our favourite competition returns as the Welsh Premier League kicks off in October, so cue the tongue twisters. Bowls Scotland have confirmed that the 2022 Outdoor European Championships will be held at the National Centre for Bowling in Ayr. 18 nations will compete from the 9th to the 14th of July 2022. It's worth noting it's the 13th Euros, so fingers crossed it's not unlucky 13. After a year of no national championships, Bowls Scotland have confirmed the 2022 Outdoor Championships will go ahead on the 17th to the 23rd of July. It will also feature your first Youth Championships on the 24th of July. Now here's a question for you. What have the following in common? Nicky Brett, Sam Tolshard, Louis Rideout, Lorraine Cooler and Mark Dawes. Well, they've all appeared on the podcast and have all won national titles at the delayed 2019-20 Indoor Championships at Nottingham. So if you want to add to your CV, just drop us a line. And news from the PBA qualifiers. With 6 of the 8 qualifying events having taken place, the list of singles is as follows: Wayne Wilkris, Ronnie Duncan, Mark McPeak, Trevor Taylor, Jamie Walker and Graham Howard. Qualifiers in the pairs: Paul Maynard, James Rippey, John McHutchinson, Chris McGreedy, Mark McPeak, Stuart Bennett, Trevor Taylor, Stuart Airy, Lee Calver, Conor Sinato, William Moulton and Ashley Nethercliffe. The remaining 2 events at Lincoln and Stanley are due to be completed at the end of the month. And the first Open Singles Circuit tournament has taken place. The Lincoln event was won by a home player, Richard Ashton. The next one is Newark in November. And now some short mat news. The European Open was played at Falcon and was won by Saul Featherston and Glenn Harvey. In the final, they beat William Boggs and Gary McNabb 11-10. The plate final saw Mark Courtney and Jason Parkinson, defeat Martin Nash and Brian McGiven 8-6. And the short mat World Pairs and Fours Masters will be replaced by the newly named Falcon Open Pairs. This will be played on November the 27th and 28th. It's limited to 128 entries, and at the time of broadcast, the number of entries stands at 84. The entry fee is £27.50. And as an extra bonus, spectators will be allowed in. And now we return to our chat with Katie Bulmer Cooke.
What's the next step? Obviously, you mentioned about, I love the way we call her Mum, because people down south will be going, "What's Mum? What's this Mum thing all about?" But obviously, that's our mother, and that's the way we call it up in the northeast. But you said that she's done a sit down version of the class as well.
She has, yeah, because we hope that we can go out and reach other parts of the population. So people that might not find themselves at a bowls club or might not find themselves at a leisure centre or somewhere like Everyone Active, maybe going into some residential homes and delivering some sessions there for people. So she's taken the format of the class and she's adapted it for those who would prefer to use a chair for support, whether that be sitting on the chair or simply using the chair as like a balance aid. She's done a really good job. That's my mum's background, it's a specialism. She working with older adults and people that need that extra bit of advice, support, coaching, particularly in that area, and she's done a great job, as you'd expect from a Bulmer.
And it's great as well because obviously with my role at the Bowls Development Alliance, our Just Bowl team who we've had on the show before, they go into nursing homes and they go into residential homes, taking the Just Bowl kit for people to do activities in the lounge area, etc., which goes down really, really well. So again, you look at it and you just think to yourself, this could be just an added thing that could be thrown in there, which not only gives them the opportunity to have a game of bowls or just relax and do something, but there will be still people in there who like to, keep fit, and that might be an opportunity for them as well. And yeah, Richie, any questions from yourself?
I have got a confession to make, Katie, because I did get a sneak preview off Davey about 3 weeks ago. He sent us a link, so I says, I'll sit and do it in the sitting room. Now, I lost a tennis ball between me buttocks and the pile in the carpet. So I ended up getting carpet burns. Sorry. I need a hard surface to stick that tennis ball on, or I need one of them tennis balls that when the players sign them at Wimbledon, one of them get 6-inch ones, and I might need one of them. But,
it sounds like you might need to be wearing clothes. I don't know where you get carpet burns.
Well, I must admit, I'm over the moon. He said that he lost it in the nap of the carpet because I was thinking he was walking really funny, and I was just wondering where that tennis ball had gone.
I thought I got a soft ball, but no, it's a hard ball. Just sunk in the carpet. Where's it gone?
You need to get a fitness mat, Mr. Mackay. That's what you need.
I need a bit MDF on the floor. That's what I need. Wood flooring.
But apart from that, Richie, what did you think of it?
No, it's spot on. That looks great. Looks great. I think he's doing a tremendous job. I'll have a crack at it. Can you do bits and bobs out of it, or do you sort of recommend doing the full thing? Or
I would recommend doing the full thing. It won't take you longer than about 40 minutes. That's the full thing in total from start to finish. But you can do everything at your own pace. the way it's laid out. You can really take your time with it. There's harder and easier options throughout. So yeah, I would say give the whole thing a go. But something else that's worth mentioning is for anybody that's like, say, listening, like Dave, to your process of what you did before the Commonwealth Games, and we'll talk about the 4-stone weight loss. Part of that was just your general activity as well. So it's great to commit to workout. It will make a difference to your body, inside and out, to your mind, but also thinking about like your non-exercise activity. So just how much you move it in the day. If you can focus on that, as well as say getting 3 structured workouts in there a week or more if you've got the time, and then just really focusing on your activity. So that's everything like walking, whether it be on a treadmill or walking your dog or just walking yourself, housework, gardening. It's basically, we all talk about wearing Fitbits, etc. It's trying to get those 10,000 steps every day. 10,000 for some people might be a big ask, especially if they're in a seated job. But if they say at the minute, if you're only getting 4,000 a day, next week try and get 5,000 every day and build from there, because the exercise outside of exercise is equally as important.
And that's one thing with the Bowlsfit program as well. You can literally start off from really basic activity where, even if it's doing something on the spot at a very low level, and what I found is that just increased and increased and increased. Or, you don't have to push yourself to absolutely kill yourself at that first point. You can literally just build it all the way. And this is what we'll see from Richie. Hopefully we'll not lose too many more tennis balls, and we'll see.
There's no shortage of truck drivers. There's a shortage of tennis balls in Cumbrian Avenue area.
I'd like to thank you for trusting me to do it, to write your programme before you went to the games, and then to continue and create this product.
Thanks so much for coming on again, Katie. Great to catch up again. Great to get the updates, and all we can basically say is just keep your eyes open. And we said it last time, it wasn't far away, but this time it is right on the doorstep, and it should be going out very, very soon.
No bother. Thanks for the chat. Speak to you later.
See you later.
Thank you.
Take care.
Ta-da. And now it's time for part 2 of our chat with Sian.
And from your own point of view, playing at the moment, Sian, obviously you're heavily involved with potential Commonwealth Games selection at the moment as well. How's that going?
Yeah, it's been quite intense. John McGuinness and Mo and Kirk, they've done a great job of, putting a programme together for us. Whenever we could get back on the green, we were out there, and it's been great. And, from the players' point of view, it's been full on and it's been intense, which is exactly what it should be. And when you're going for something so prestigious as competing at a Commonwealth Games, and in particular a home Commonwealth Games. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the season. It's obviously had its challenges as well. It's been really good. Good to have some high quality opposition again as well, and get those competitive games in. That was sort of the thing you touched on earlier on as well, Sian, with regards to what it was that I potentially missed, as well as just playing the sport as well. And it was only sort of Leamington this year, which we've already touched on, we don't need to go over. I thought was a really positive experience, and it was just getting to that high level of competition again. It doesn't half sort of get the blood flowing, and I'm sure you felt that way yourself, having had so long off, to then come back and then be playing international bowls against British Isles team must have been a great thing as well. Yeah, definitely. Bowls England did a tremendous job in getting a season played. I think we all can agree with that, even if we might not agree on the final point. And similarly, from a high performance point of view, the fact that us and the other home countries were willing and able to go and compete against each other was absolutely brilliant. Am I right in thinking that it's around about the December time when selection's going to be made? Is that right? I believe so. It's a really strong squad too. I would definitely not want to be picking that, but also I'm well aware that whichever 10 they choose, 5 women, 5 men, they will have an amazing team. Definitely. And just on that note as well, obviously a great friend of yours and myself as well, just like to congratulate Ellen on getting her position for para bowls, I believe it is, over in Australia. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which has caused her she's withdrawn from the Commonwealth Games, which I'm sure was a massive thing in itself for Ellen, with the records, that you both have. But I'm presuming, you can only presume that this was just an offer she could not refuse. Yeah, I mean, Els and Chris have always wanted to end up in Australia.
And when you get an opportunity like that, you'd be absolutely mad to turn it down. There's no point, is there? You would only regret not trying. Whatever happens, you've got to go for it. And obviously timing wise for Ellen and for us as well as a squad, disappointing obviously. When you sort of think about bowls at high level, you kind of think Ellen next, don't you? But absolutely good luck to him, and they'll be amazing at what they do. They're two really sort of top people. As you know, Australia is very, very lucky to have them.
Absolutely. Reading some of the comments I've seen from Australia as well, that's certainly being well received over there as well. And just reiterate, obviously, the best of luck to both Ellen and Chris, and certainly good luck for the future. And obviously, good luck for yourself as well, Sian, with regards to Commonwealth Games selection. I'm sure it's sort of it's that daunting period now where it's just the waiting game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. You sort of hope that you've shown yourself in the best possible light, and then after that, it's out of your hands, isn't it? I'm sure they'll pick a very good team. Like I say, whoever ends up going, they'll do a great job.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. And I certainly hope to be down there sitting in the stand supporting as well. I'm looking forward to coming down to see it as well. So just moving on from that one then, Sian, we've just we've had Katie Bulmer Cooke on the show, who I sent you a few things recently with regards to the Bowlsfit program that we've been working on. Just interested in knowing what your thoughts were with regards to the video that was sent through, and the whole thing that we've done with regards to Bowlsfit.
Yeah, I did the workout that you sent.
Did you? Oh, that's good. I didn't ask you that.
Obviously, as you know, the high performance program comes hand in hand with the fitness program. We've all been on a tailored program, working closely with Loughborough University, which is brilliant and is, such a great thing for us bowlers to have access to. But yeah, I've been really impressed with the Bowlsfit stuff. I do think fitness is very important in bowls, whatever level that you play at. I think that the great thing about Bowlsfit is that everyone is working at their own level, but you have the added bonus of having a community-based workout, like a group workout, which I think appeals to a lot of people. My personal attitude towards fitness and bowls is that same as warming up, really. If it's going to give you 5% extra, why wouldn't you?
Was there anything, from when you've done it in the house, did you find any difficulty in what you were doing, or?
No, because I had a baby in July 2020, so I was on a bit of a mission to get back into shape after that as well, and sort of didn't want to be behind the other girls starting off the preparation for the high performance thing. So I sort of took that quite seriously and got on it, as it were. And I am probably the fittest I've ever been right at this second. And it's made a massive difference to my game. And I think this summer in particular, the way the formats changed, anyone playing multiple games at Leamington, especially on a hot day, the fitter you are, the better your bowling's going to be, because what people don't realise is that it has a massive effect. It's not just sort of, losing weight and things like that. It's your stamina. It's cardiovascular endurance. It's being able to stand there when it's really hot and it not affecting you so much because you've got the base level of fitness. And I think that, for the people that played a number of games in a day and were struggling physically and struggling to maintain their concentration, hopefully they will ask themselves the question, well, why was I? And it would be because you're not fit enough. You're not fit for purpose. Bowls is obviously a high intensity sport, but you do need certain things to get through a day of playing and still be playing at the end of the day as well as you were playing at the start of the day. So really? I think it's a lot more important than people actually give credit to. The thing is, it's great to be able to have something that's bowl specific. Bowlers need exercise and a regime that includes balance and core. It's really important because that's what we're doing. It's the repetitive action over and over again. So Katie's obviously designed a really great program that's suitable for non-bowlers, obviously, but it's spot on for people that play bowls because it taps into all the major muscle groups, and using the timed intervals and the circuits is obviously going to increase your heart rate and therefore increase your fitness over time.
Just now that I've got top international women's bowler on, I've asked Sam this question on the last podcast. Home life, Sian. How easy is it to balance a home life trying to get into the Commonwealth Games squad, representing your county, playing nationals, and got a young family as well, and work commitments. Are you a good plate spinner?
I wouldn't say it was a walk in the park, but I think the key for me is having a good support unit behind me. Obviously, my husband, my parents, my sister. Without them, it just wouldn't be possible at all. And that's the bottom line. So when, it comes around and you have to make a commitment for the next however long, it's a conversation that I have to have with all of them. I want to do it, but can we do it? Yeah. And this time, Ian in particular said to me, you have to put yourself forward for it because you will regret it if you don't. And I sort of said, I don't know, we've got 3 now. It's a bit different. He is amazing, and he told me that I had to do it. So I can't thank him enough for that. I've been very lucky with my job as well for the last 7 years. For me personally, it would be different if I was going out and, say, working in London full time. I wouldn't be able to do the bowls. I'd feel too guilty doing the bowls on top of that. But as it is, thankfully, I can always take the children to school and pick them up. And the little one is always with me. So I've been very lucky. So I guess that's how I work it, and going to play in the evenings and some weekends. I mean, you can't play in everything, I would say. That's the thing. I have to make decisions of what I enter, and people might not always understand why, but whatever happens, my children always have to come first, and they always will.
Before people think we've got like the life of Riley as international players, and it's far, far from it. That Ian's giving you that support as well, because as you've said, same from my end as well, made so many sacrifices in life, talked about jobs and, missing out on family time, but without them, it just wouldn't be possible. So, as much as it's fantastic for you, got to say, great from Ian for giving you that support, and the family as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think anything that I've achieved it sounds really cheesy, doesn't it? But it's a team achievement. I see it like our little team that we are. That's the way it has to be. And if I didn't have his support, then I obviously wouldn't be able to do it, but I wouldn't be doing it anyway. But it is funny when you go away, because some of these weekends, especially lately, have been really full on, and you come back and you're like, it's mentally draining, to be honest, because obviously you're performing and you're in a selection process, and you come back and sort of Sunday night or Monday morning, I feel like absolutely whacked. But Ian's like, well, you've been away. You've had a weekend away. I mean, come on.
Jolly holly.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. So, and that's fair enough. Yeah, you could do with another little weekend away to get over it, but obviously that's not an option. Yeah, it just makes me laugh.
So really, thank you for coming on. Thanks for having a chat, and wish you massive luck in the new career. And again, thanks so much for everything that you've put into Bowls International over the last 7 years, and just bowls in general. And I'm sure that will continue, but obviously just on a different plane.
Thank you. Yeah, that really means a lot. Yeah, I'm sure I won't be going too far. I don't think I'll be able to, but yeah, thank you. Thank you very much both for having me again.
Great stuff, Sian. Thanks so much, and take care, and all the best to the family as well.
You're welcome. See you later.
Thanks, Sian. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
And there we go, mate. Show number 35, done and dusted. Bowlsfit and Sian Honnor. What more can you ask for?
Good chat. Sort of nice to catch up with Sian, and obviously hearing about her change of career and what she's been doing with regards to Commonwealth Games, and really nice from a personal point of view to know that she's actually taken part in the Bowlsfit class as well at home, and she really sees the benefit from it. So look out for that, guys. Hope everybody else has the same opinion, and it's each to their own. Some will, some won't. But as you know yourself, Richie, you've had a look at it, and it's certainly no walk in the park, that's for sure.
No, highly recommend it, mate. But I will put a parental guidance on your blog, mind you.
Absolutely.
If you're hot and sweaty, there's something more going on than doing that Bowlsfit, I'll tell you.
I've got a feeling there'll be a few grimaces and a few aches and pains and moans there initially, but from my own personal point of view, and hopefully those who are out there as well, just see what you can actually do with just a little bit of willpower and a mindset to get out there and get fit.
I look forward to seeing the change in you being half the man that you are now.
I'm half the man I am now. I'll still have another 3 stone to lose.
You are modest, lad. couple of things just before we go. Monkton, retiring from a rollers development officer within the
Disability Balls England, yeah.
Seems to be in the backbone for many, many years, mate.
She's been fantastic and continues to be so. And I do believe she's going to be still an ambassador and obviously do some work within there, but it's not going to be as dedicated as what it has been. And had many a good chat with Mo in the past, and she's a credit to the sport. So all the best to you, Mo.
Yep, you're here. And a special mention to the PBAs, mate. They're underway. I think they've played about 3 or 4. And we're going to live stream one from Stanley at the end of October, Halloween. I think it is, isn't it?
It is, and massive thanks to Jason for asking us to do that. And also, I mentioned it earlier on one of his posts. He's up in Carlisle at the moment, but I'd just like to say a huge thanks to him. It was no easy task getting that pulled around from where it was, and he's made the point, and we've got to mention the fact that Alan Thornhill and Martin have played a big part in providing certainly the results and helping these PBAs run. And I know over in Ireland, I believe David Corker was giving updates, and Richard from Bowls Chat was doing some streaming on the event as well, which was great. So congratulations to all those guys. There's been a few PBAs now, and from what I've heard, they've all ran like clockwork, and nothing but good news coming out of it. Yeah. And looking forward to going up and streaming the Stanley one, and I'm really hoping that you buy yourself for a long period of time, mate, because I'm hoping I'm in the final.
Well, I've watching Jason do the Carlisle one, and he looked great out. I think he's been doing it for about 14 hours, and he played.
He does, and that's where there's got to be a lot of credit given, because he works, and he's obviously doing a lot to make this happen. So I've got no doubt he'd be absolutely shattered, because he seems to be in 3-4 different places over the course of a week. He never stops. But great stuff, Jason. Keep it going, and all the best to those who've qualified so far.
And I've got a backup plan. If we haven't got a Wi-Fi signal, I'm going to take an Etch-a-Sketch with us.
Fantastic.
Right, because I can guarantee that the Wi-Fi at Stanley is going to be great.
Yeah, it's. I thought it would be plain sailing for Wi-Fi within the indoor, but having worked in my own club for the last few weeks, it's it has a nasty habit of dropping out now and again.
Tin sheds, mate, don't go well with Wi-Fi.
More so for the fact there's a big, massive telephone pole stuck outside the club, and you still drop out. Unbelievable.
Anyway, mate, there we go. That's 35. We hope you enjoy it, folks, and we will be back with show 36.
Fantastic, guys. Take care, all.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening, and hope you've enjoyed the show.
This has been a Dodgy production.